My father, my brother, and I pretty much built the place single-handedly. We had outside help, but I remember a lot of the work being done ourselves. My father was a great leader that way. He brought us up at a very early age to work hard and know how to work and all that kind of stuff, and that ended up saving us when he ended up dying.
When you're building a dirt track, there are certain things you got to take into consideration. Wind direction, sun where it's setting, the location of the track with the turns, the banking. When you take all this into consideration, and if you were going to build another racetrack, it would be the same type of facility and the same locations that Bob Petrocci built Rolling Wheels.
The Wheels opened in August 1969. A capacity crowd witnessed the debut. Back then, modifieds were all coaches and coupes, and an outstanding field of cars from New York, Pennsylvania, and Canada were on hand. Drivers back then included Kago, Reeks, and a 16-year-old high school student named Alan Johnson. The joining of Wheat Sport and Rolling Wheels became the roots of what is now Drivers Independent Racetracks. One of the early stars at Rolling Wheels was Lonesome George Eli. Lonesome George still races today, but ask any fan about his career, and the first thing they'll tell you is about the infamous flyer that Eli took on opening day at the Wheels in 1969. Eli's number 90 barrel rolled a half dozen times down the Rolling Wheels back chute, ripping the bodywork off the car and converting the modified into a 2,600-pound hunk of scrap. Lonesome George remembers the Speedway's founder.
He was one good guy to drive for. He knew what he wanted on the track. He knew the conditions he wanted. He wanted all the drivers to like his track, like the area. He was just all for the drivers.
And then, only 11 months after Rolling Wheels had opened, tragedy struck.
On July 31st, a bad storm came through central New York and rained out our program. Apparently, Spencer Speedway had gotten rain earlier, and they were getting their show in. My dad called up and said found out that they were running, and he decided to go up and see if he could get some of the local stars up there to come race dirt on Friday nights. He went up to Spencer with Bill McNabb, our race director, our starter, Cliff Kateri, and Cliff Kateri's son.
During the night, there were several spinouts, and during one of the features, Gary Cornelius' car made contact with another car and actually did a complete somersault and landed in the pit bleachers off between the third and fourth turn where we were. We were in the very top row of the pit bleachers. The car crashed into the bleachers. I believe it did hit Bob personally, missed me.
We got a call in the middle of the night, and it said there was an accident. And we just figured he crashed a pace car on the way home or something. But they told us where he was at Sodas Hospital, and we went up there, and as we were coming out, the doctor said that he'd be okay in 6 or 8 weeks, that it was nothing major, and that he was just beat up pretty bad, but he's going to be okay. And 4 hours later, he had some sort of an internal hemorrhage, and he died.
The race that we're seeing tonight in tribute to your father, when you sold the Speedway to the new owners, you insisted in the sales contract that there be a provision that there would always be a Robert Petrocci Memorial race. How did you come up with that idea?
It was almost the only thing we could do, to have something like that, to keep his name connected with Rolling Wheels, because it was his baby.